noches y Dios les bendiga. Te habla Pastor Luis de House of Mercy en Kansas City y bienvenidos a Boys Night In. Esta noche me encuentro como de costumbre con Kevin y con Jan Duperón. Good evening everyone and God bless you. This is Pastor Luis from House of Mercy in Kansas City and welcome to Boys Night In. Once again I'm joined by Kevin and Jan Duperón. ¿Cómo están?
Bien.
Ah, ¿lo hice mal?
You're good.
No, estoy bien hasta ahora.
Yeah, sure.
¿Estás seguro?
Sure.
Ok. ¿Cómo tú estás? Bien, voy contigo.
I'm good.
Otra vez. ¿Estás bien? Te están disfrutando estas vacaciones mucho. You guys doing okay? You're enjoying this vacation a little too much.
See, the way I see it
Ajá.
is I'm supposed to enjoy my bouts of laziness throughout my youth, because when I'm older, I'm just gonna have to work a bunch like you. So I might as well just enjoy being lazy.
No. No. Tú no, ¿cómo? Espérate, o sea que tú dices que cuando joven hay que disfrutar, ser un poquito vago, perezoso, porque después cuando adulto hay que trabajar.
I think the only difference here between summer and school year is that during the school year I see Kevin in the morning. During summer I don't see him at all. So I think that's the
You
only
see me in the
difference.
afternoon.
Barely. It's only like when you get called down for down for food. That's like the only time I see you. So it's like with like school year, right?
Y eso que viven en la misma casa.
Oh, yeah, in the school year, okay. Sometimes I don't even know if he's in the house. Like I'm like, is he in the house? Did he go somewhere? Like during school year, okay. You wake up in the morning. Okay, there's Kevin, and you go to school. You come back, and he's gone. You're like, okay, whatever. I'll see him during dinner. Now it's wake up at like 11 or 12 for me at least. Wake up at 11 or 12, okay. Well, for you it's wake up at 7, but for me it's like wake up at 11 or 12. and then go downstairs.
Bueno, casi.
Yeah, go downstairs. Go to where mom is, okay. Go to where mom is. I was like, hey mom, good morning. She's like, you mean good afternoon? I was like, yeah. And then don't see Kevin until dinner.
Oye, yo
Okay, hold up. That only happens every so often.
It happens a lot. It happens a lot.
Yo no sé, ustedes, mira, tú sabes que yo extraño esos días cuando yo podía dormir hasta tarde. I miss those days when I could sleep late. Pero,
See, you can
wow.
do it on. You can still.
Pero
do
qué
it
bueno que ustedes
You can do
pueden
it
hacer
on.
eso.
You can still do it on the weekends. It's just you have this issue called I don't know when to stop working.
No es para tanto, pero sí hay que trabajar, mi amor. You know, I'm not a workaholic. It's just we gotta work.
Yeah, so I'm enjoying the fact that.
That sounds like an excuse. That sounds like an
Una
excuse.
excusa para qué.
That sounds like an excuse a workaholic would make. I'm not a workaholic. We just need to work.
No, fíjate, es un buen punto que traes y sería un buen tema para una edición futura de hablar en cuanto a cómo nos podemos fatigar si trabajamos demasiado. Y en algún momento hay que desconectarse, decir, ¿sabes qué? No puedo, tengo que descansar. That's a good point you bring, and it's a good topic to talk about later on at some point in the future about how we do need some rest, and
But also
we
finding
do
that
need to
balance.
stop. Yeah, finding that balance between being responsible, but also taking some time to unplug and relax and
being a college student in the summer, you gotta find that. You gotta
Y
find that balance. You gotta find that balance. Okay? You gotta
y ser estar en la universidad. Mira, yo lo disfruté en la universidad. Yo extraño un poco esos días porque eran, no sé, era más, no sé, era diferente. Sí, pero habiendo dicho eso, le doy gracias a Dios por la esposa que me dio y por los dos jóvenes que tengo, que ahora ustedes, ¿verdad? Ya tú estás hecho un hombre. Y tú también, pero un hombre jovencito. Y el perro, oye, nos hablamos, ¿verdad?
See, that was your fault. I was just saying that.
Sí, ¿verdad? El cuadrúpedo, nuestro amigo de cuatro patas, Snoopy, que de vez en cuando aparece por ahí.
Right now he's bugging mom.
Sí, que está ahí al lado de mami. Pero sí, le doy gracias a Dios por la esposa que me ha dado y por los dos hijos tan maravillosos que me ha regalado. Y son etapas en la vida, ¿no? Pasamos la etapa de cuando éramos jóvenes y cuando estábamos en la escuela superior, estábamos en la universidad y ahora ya somos adultos, hechos derecho,
I
tenemos
mean,
trabajo.
you were born as an adult.
We have, no, I was not born as
You
a
were.
No, but what I was saying is I thank God for the wonderful wife that He has given me and the two wonderful boys that He's given me. You, of course, a grown man now, and you're a young man,
He's
almost
not
an
a
adult.
legal adult.
But he's almost there.
So wait,
And
go
so,
back to what he's saying. You're saying like in the hospital, the nurse just knocks on the door and she's checking up on grandma. She's like, "You okay?" And then you just see dad in the corner. I'm fine.
ya conmigo, tío.
Yeah, exactly. With beard.
Oye, ¿por qué será? ¿Por qué
The only
será que
difference
muchos-
was he had a baby's body. He had the same head. It just
Okay.
popped out.
Muchos jóvenes piensan que nosotros nacimos adultos.
Ask him.
No, you except you actually did. Like
No, yo no nací
you
adulto.
came out of the womb doing your chores.
No, le puedes preguntar a tu abuela y ella te puede decir que no es cierto. Pero tú sabes algo, que yo decía lo mismo de papi y mami. Ustedes parece que nacieron adultos. But no, I thank God for the young men that you two have become and are still becoming. And no, I was not born as an adult. I was a baby. It seems like most young people think that parents were born as adults. I thought so too. Pero, ¿saben qué? Vamos a saludar a todas estas personas que se están conectando. Bienvenidos a Boys Night In. Welcome to Boys Night In. ¿Sabes que tenemos una top fan? We have a top fan.
Who are you?
¿Ah?
We do.
Sí.
What brand is it?
No, se llama Damaris Reyes.
I
De Mi Familia Contigo. Damaris Reyes, God bless you. Esa ministro del Señor. God bless you. Welcome to Boys Night In. Bienvenida a Boys Night In. Es una de nuestras top fans. Pero damos gracias a Dios por ello, por la familia. Sí, nos apoyan. Toda la semana nos
That
apoyan.
must have been expensive.
No,
I bet they keep the house pretty cool.
no, pero nos apoyan y a todas las personas que se están conectando poco a poco y que se han ido conectando, Dios les bendiga y gracias, bienvenidos a Boys Night In. Gracias por estar con nosotros. ¿Saben de qué vamos a hablar hoy, verdad? ¿Tú sabes de qué vamos a hablar hoy? Porque tú dices que yo nunca te pregunto, pues te voy a preguntar, ¿de qué vamos a hablar
I
hoy?
in fact do, but you know.
Oh, you do?
Me being the responsible.
You actually
Well,
know?
yeah, but me being the nice, responsible person, I'm gonna lay it off to my brother, because you know I'm just very,
And we put it
En soccer se llama un pass,
yeah.
¿verdad?
I'm just
Te
passing
están
on.
pasando la...
Well, to him, he
No.
thinks that's an assist, but really,
It's an
he's
assist.
the guy who's passing it back to me because he doesn't know what to do with it.
No, I'm the guy who's gonna. I'm like Elia, you know. I'm right for the goal, but I pass
Tú
instead of
sabes,
shoot.
no, tú sabes por qué él está contento, ¿verdad? Está contento porque Arsenal le ganó a Liverpool, que es el equipo número 1,
And
y a Manchester City, que es el equipo
Yeah,
número
big
2
up
en
Arsenal.
Inglaterra.
Big up Arsenal.
Entonces, como van a jugar mañana, él está súper contento.
Oh, yeah.
They're gonna lose.
Nah, we're gonna beat them. We're gonna beat them.
Pero en
No
el,
me
mundo,
money if we
en el
win.
mundo del fútbol, en el mundo del fútbol, soccer, a veces hay sorpresas que un equipo mediocre le gana al mejor equipo y después pierde con el peor equipo. Porque así es el deporte. Pero
He just committed video.
le deseamos.
I
No, yo no dije eso.
Hey, I
Yo
completely
no
agree.
dije eso. Hay equipos buenos, hay equipos mediocres. No,
No,
pero
I agree
Arsenal,
with you. Arsenal's mediocre.
Arsenal tiene buenos jugadores, ha jugado bien, pero nada, le deseamos lo mejor mañana a
Arteta's
Arsenal.
the man. He's
Y espero,
being a star.
espero que se te dé que ellos puedan ganar. Pero volviendo otra vez, ¿sabes qué vamos a hablar hoy? You know what we're going to talk about today?
No, we put it in the.
I wish Arsenal the best, and I really do. But what are we going to talk about tonight? Do you know?
Like I said, I'm gonna pull an Ilie instead of shooting. I'm gonna pass.
I already know. 'Cause
Ilie's the type of dude to pass.
Bueno,
in the
okay.
you know,
Tú,
penalty.
tú se la pasas a él.
Yeah,
okay.
pass it, yep.
He passes it to you. You could pass it back.
You know.
we're just gonna be.
En soccer tú no puedes pasar para
Yeah,
atrás.
We're gonna be here for 30 minutes.
No, porque en algún momento yo voy a entrar y voy a hacer un tackle.
Just shoot it. Just shoot it. Shoot it. You're wide open.
I don't know how you don't know when we put it in the.
I know exactly.
Mira, hoy...
Wait.
¿Qué?
When a young person commits a sin.
Sí, hoy el tema es interesante porque estamos hablando específicamente de los jóvenes y el pecado. Tonight's topic is important because we're talking about young people and sin. Cuando un joven peca, ¿lo restauramos o es una sentencia de muerte? When a young person sins, is it, can we restore them or is it a death sentence?
Yes.
Yes. What?
Yes.
No, pero vamos a explorar eso porque eso es, mira, es que eso es una preocupación que tienen muchos jóvenes, porque hay muchas tentaciones, se encuentran con muchas situaciones cuando salen a la escuela, a la calle, donde quiera que van. Entonces, quizás ellos piensan que si cometen un pecado que no hay perdón para ellos, que no hay ningún tipo de esperanza, que ya todo se ha perdido. Y claro está que el enemigo de nuestras almas tampoco ayuda acusándolos, diciéndoles, ¿sabes qué? Cometiste un pecado, ya Dios no te va a perdonar, ya no eres nadie, la gente no te va a mirar igual. And so tonight's topic is important because a lot of young people, I know that this goes through a lot of young people's minds. When we're young, and even older people have temptations, but when we're young, we are tempted at school, at work, wherever we go, right? And when and if we sin, a lot of young people can get inside their minds that, you know what, God is not going to forgive me, I'm not good enough anymore. And of course, the devil, who's an accuser, doesn't help much when he continuously accuses them as well. And so what they think is, God doesn't love me anymore, God can't forgive me, all is lost, all hope is lost. O sea, que piensan que toda esperanza se ha perdido. Entonces, por eso vamos a hablar un poquito de ese tema esta noche, de cuando un joven peca, si lo restauramos o si es una sentencia de muerte. Así que gracias por darnos esos temas, ya que sabemos que los jóvenes piensan en todo esto. Así que entonces, primero, ¿qué es el pecado? No, usted sabe lo que es pecado. ¿Qué es pecado? What is sin?
Sin is sin. It's a word, and you spell it S-I-N.
But it doesn't rhyme with son.
No, because it's sin, because English, right? So
Sí. Sin, pecado.
sin is sin, okay? And in the Bible, sin is spelled like sin. Therefore, sin is sin.
Ok, hablaste,
Pero
pero no contestaste la pregunta. Okay.
weird talent. He can say 1,000 words. He has the ability where he can speak 1,000 words and at the same time say absolutely nothing.
I know. Sí, ya vi, pero está bien porque nos hace
I thought he
reír.
was gonna say something like,
Nos hace
see,
reír.
son and sin are one letter removed, and that's because it has you in it. And in order for there to be sin, and you as a person will sin because you are human.
No, you're wrong.
I thought he was gonna go something like that.
No, this is how it works, Kevin.
And son runs with son,
No,
and you're a
because-
father, and you have two
Yeah,
sons,
yeah.
algo así.
And they'll commit a sin, and therefore you need
This
to
is-
restore them.
This is why you leave the puns to me, because I can.
That's not a-
This is
that's not a-
why you leave
Pero-
wordplay to me. No, let me show you how it's done. Let me show you how
Estamos
it's done.
haciendo como tú haces
Let me show you how it's
normalmente.
done. Let me show you how it's done.
The last one you did was terrible.
Sin and son are one letter is with one letter removed. Okay.
Dale, que tenemos que-
For sin requires a person to do it. You, I. There's an I in sin. I commit the sin. Obviously, okay. So with that I, there's an I. Okay. You see with your eyes. Okay. Eyes. Okay. Eyes are you're able to see, and you're able to see the sun. Okay. All right, the sun. You just look up, boom, there's the sun. If you look too long, you're gonna go blind. But if you also see the sun, like this,
I know.
you see the sun. Okay.
Pero,
I thought you were about to say, if you've seen the son, you've seen the father, and that would have been actually a good
Oh,
transition.
yeah, if you see the sun, you see the father. Okay. You see the father, and when you see the father, they have sons and daughters, and those children commit sins as well.
el problema con lo que tú dijiste es que en español no tiene mucho sentido, porque
Exactly.
pecado y sol no, son, o sea, no, ni tan siquiera suenan igual.
Just get a better language.
Pero
It's our language.
Jan siempre nos entretiene con sus ocurrencias, ¿verdad? Él trata siempre de sacar algo que rime con el sol, en inglés sun, y que suena como son, hijo. Entonces, pero en el de hoy, o sea, el pecado, el sol, casi se parece, pero es en inglés, no en español.
Yeah.
Pero, pecado, ¿qué es pecado? es que
todo, bueno, pecado es todo lo que no agrada a Dios.
todo lo que no
Y
agrada,
también,
Y pecado es la
That-
ausencia de la presencia de Dios.
that which does not please God, and it's also the absence of God. Very good. ¿Qué más?
pecado suena como pescar.
Oh my God.
Para pescar.
Ay, mi madre.
Ahora lo está haciendo.
Necesitas. I don't even know. What's the word?
Gloria a Dios,
there's
no español.
there's nothing
Mira, no
there.
español.
There's nothing there.
Bueno,
There's nothing there. I can't.
una
go on with that.
mejor hubiera sido pecado suena como pescado.
Pescado.
Pescado, okay.
Tú comes.
Y el pescado se come.
No, tú comes pescado.
Ajá.
Como Adán y Eva comieron la fruta en el jardín de Edén. Y por ellos comer eso, ahora tenemos el pecado.
Podías haber dicho eso. Pero, muy bien.
Mine is better.
Pero, muy bien, como he dicho, espera, pero cuando hablamos del pecado estamos hablando de errar al blanco, o sea, de no dar al blanco. Si tú piensas en arcos y flechas, la gente que practica el deporte de
Actually,
arco y flechas sería otra cosa. Archery. No, if you think of bows and arrows, right? People who practice archery. Si tú ves el blanco, el centro le llaman, en inglés llaman un bullseye.
it's actually yellow.
Ya en el
El-
blanco es
I know, I know.
Le llaman el blanco,
I know.
así se dice
I know,
target
I
en
know.
español. Pero el
The
centro
white.
que es amarillo, yo lo sé. En algunos, depende, algunos son rojos. Pero ese es
That's just wrong.
el centro. Entonces, cuando hablamos de pecar, quiere decir que erramos al blanco, o sea, que no le dimos al blanco. El blanco, so when we talk about sin, you're talking about, when those people who practice archery know that the center is called the bullseye, the target. Most of them are yellow, some are red. Okay, but when we talk about sin, you're talking about missing the mark or missing the bullseye, missing the target. Okay. ¿Qué tú dices de Walmart?
No, he said also known as the supermarket.
I said some are also supermarkets.
Target. I can't believe you didn't get that when I said it. He literally was like this.
Oye, uno tratando de... Anyways, I was saying, cuando no damos en el blanco, when we miss the mark, a eso es lo que le llamamos pecar, ¿ok? Que viene de ahora mismo la palabra no me viene a la mente, pero en hebreo la palabra quiere decir eso, pecar, o sea, errar al blanco, no dar en el blanco. En el caso nuestro, cuando hablamos del blanco o the target, estamos hablando de Dios y su estandarte. When we're talking about the mark or you're talking about the target, you're talking about God and His standards.
So it's like Jam with like when he's shooting the ball and he completely misses the goal.
I don't miss. I don't
Ah,
miss.
fíjate,
I don't miss.
eso es
I
una
don't
buena,
miss.
eso es una buena analogía. Gracias por traerla. That's a very good analogy. Thank you. Hablando de soccer,
No.
okay, sería no meter la bola en el gol.
So Man City.
Okay,
So
not
Man City.
not putting the ball in the goal. O sea, que cuando pierdes el gol,
He tried to keep going.
when you miss the goal, okay, no, o sea, erraste, no le diste, pecaste, okay, para así ponerlo.
You know, there's also
You have to do 10
Uh-huh.
push-ups
another,
every shot you
you know,
miss.
another analogy was if you miss the target, you're also going to Walmart.
No le des promoción gratis aquí, por favor. Ok, vamos a seguir. Miren lo que dice la palabra. Vámonos a la palabra de Dios. Mira, Romanos 3:23. Romans 3:23 says, I'm going to start off in English. For everyone has sinned. We all fall short of God's glorious standard. En español dice, pues todos hemos pecado, nadie puede alcanzar la meta gloriosa establecida por Dios. Entonces, fíjate que si leemos este versículo aislado de los demás, pudiéramos pensar que no hay esperanza. If we read this verse in isolation from the rest, we would think that we have no hope. Porque aquí Pablo le está escribiendo a los romanos que diciéndole por cuanto todos pecaron, ninguno, o sea, todos, mejor dicho, todos se han quedado cortos del estandarte de Dios o de la gloria de Dios. And so when you read this, Paul is telling the Romans in this letter, since you have sinned, since everyone has sinned, everyone has fallen short of God's standard or of God's glory. Okay, entonces pudiéramos pensar, no tengo esperanza. I have no hope. Y si fuera así, pudiéramos terminar el programa ahora mismo y decir, ¿sabes qué? La respuesta a la pregunta es sentencia de muerte. If that were the case, we could end the program right now and say there is no more hope. It's a death sentence. We answered the question. When a young person says, it's a death sentence. Pero cuando seguimos leyendo, when we keep reading, vemos que hay esperanza para nosotros. When we keep reading in the Romans, we see that there is hope for us. Que sí hay esperanza para nosotros. Que Pablo les deja saber a través de todas sus cartas que la esperanza está en Cristo Jesús. He lets them know, Paul lets them know throughout the letters that hope is in Jesus Christ. Mire también lo que nos dice Salmos 32. Look at what Psalm 32 says. Salmos 32:5. Psalm 32:5 says, "Finally, I confessed all my sins to you and stopped trying to hide my guilt. I said to myself, I will confess my rebellion to the Lord, and you forgave me. All my guilt is gone." En español dice, finalmente te confesé todos mis pecados y ya no intenté ocultar mi culpa. Me dije, le confesaré mis rebeliones al Señor. Y tú me perdonaste, toda mi culpa desapareció. Wow. Pero ¿sabes algo? Que en Juan capítulo 8, en John chapter 8, tenemos una historia de lo que sucede o de lo que debemos hacer cuando un joven peca. Fíjate que en Juan capítulo 8 vemos la historia de la mujer que fue sorprendida en adulterio. In John chapter 8 we have a story of what we should do when a young person sins. John chapter 8 talks about the woman who was surprised in adultery. ¿Se acuerdan de esa historia? Que la encontraron en adulterio. They found her in adultery. Y la agarraron y se la llevaron. Y se la llevan a Jesús. Y sarcásticamente le dicen maestro. Porque fíjate, a veces la leemos. Oh, mira, sí, le dijeron maestro. Pero no entendemos que fue sarcásticamente lo que le dijeron. And so these, the Pharisees, they caught this woman in adultery. They grabbed her, took her to Jesus, and very sarcastically said, "Teacher," to him. A lot of times, we read that and don't realize that they were really being sarcastic. "Teacher," maestro, hemos sorprendido a esta mujer en adulterio. We caught this woman in adultery. O sea, pecado. Esta mujer pecó. Salió el pecado. O sea, se supo porque ellos se enteraron. Okay? The sin is out in the open now. Y le dice, la ley de Moisés dice que esta mujer hay que apedrearla. The law of Moses says that this woman must be stoned to death. O sea, una sentencia de muerte. Por cuanto pecó, hay que sentenciarla a muerte. Ahora, ¿qué dices tú? Le ponen la pregunta a los pies de Jesús. And so when they catch this woman and they look at Jesus and they say, the law of Moses says that since she has sinned, she must be stoned to death. In other words, a death sentence. She sinned, she must be sentenced to death. Now, what do you say? And they threw that ball in Jesus' court. Y fíjate que la palabra nos dice que le estaban tendiendo una trampa. The word tells us that they were setting him up for a trap. Pero, como Jesús se las sabía todas, se las sabe todas. And since Jesus knows everything, he flips the script on them. Les viró el asunto y les dice, ¿saben cómo dice la historia?
Let those of you
¿Cómo dice?
who have sinned throw the first
No,
stone.
what I've not said.
Oh, my bad. You who have not sinned,
Cast the first one.
throw the first rock.
El que esté libre de pecado, o sea, el que no haya cometido ni tan siquiera un pecado, por favor,
Pull it.
lance la piedra.
Let he who has not sinned cast the first stone.
Exacto, o sea, el de ustedes que sea santo, completamente santo, el de ustedes, miren, si vemos más a profundidad, miren lo que Jesús le estaba diciendo a ellos. El de ustedes que haya seguido la ley sin violarla, al pie de la letra, bienvenido a lanzar la primera piedra. What Jesus was telling them, when you dig deeper into the text, Jesus was telling them, whoever of you has been able to follow the law without violating it to the letter, please feel free to throw the first stone. ¿Y qué dice la palabra? Y le lanzaron piedras. And they threw stones at her.
Yes.
One by one they dropped this.
¿Cómo? ¿Cómo que sí? What do you mean yes? ¿Cómo que sí?
Yeah, they pulled the killer.
¿Qué hicieron? ¿Qué hicieron?
It says one by one they dropped the stone and walked away, mumbling.
Poco a poco
grumbling.
fueron ¿qué? Dejando caer las piedras. ¿Por qué? Porque su propia conciencia los acusaba. Their own conscience was accusing them. Se pusieron a pensar, ¿sabes qué? A lo mejor yo también he cometido pecados. Maybe I have sinned too. A lo mejor yo también he violado la ley. Maybe I have violated the law too. Yo creo que mejor suelto la piedrita y me voy para casa. Maybe I'll just drop the rock and go home, like nothing ever happened. Nunca les ha pasado a ustedes que, yo sé que a los jóvenes a veces les pasa, cuando ustedes van, ¿verdad? Van caminando y bien cool, ¿verdad? Y de momento como que se tropiezan y tratan de, como que no pasó nada.
No.
Yeah, never happened when you walk, you trip, and then you try to play it off like, oh, hey, what's happening, man?
I don't
So
try to
cool.
look cool, but I do try to like play
Ah?
off falling. What's even more awkward is when someone is like this and you think they're doing it to you and you're like, hey, and then it's to the person behind you and they
Uh-huh.
walk past and you're like,
That's why I have a rule where if I have no idea, I'm just not gonna raise my. I'm just not gonna do
yeah,
it.
I don't.
If they just like do it, I'll look away just to show them that if they're gonna do if they're actually doing it to me, then I'll look back, but it's just safer. It's safe.
It's safer
Pero-
to just ignore them.
Pero mira, estos fariseos, o sea, cuando vieron que estaban al descubierto, dijeron, mejor soltamos la piedra y nos vamos. Y así todo se queda como está. And when they saw that their sin was out in the open, they said, maybe we'll just drop the stone and call it a day. It's not worth it today, let's just go. Y se fueron. Entonces, ¿qué sucede? Que muchas veces nuestros jóvenes, ahora voy con los jóvenes, cuando cometen un pecado, se sienten que les están haciendo como los fariseos le hicieron a esa mujer adúltera. Y hay otros ejemplos en la Biblia. There are other examples of when Jesus forgave, cuando Jesús perdonó. Pero quise usar este porque se le puede extraer mucho. I wanted to use this one because we can get a lot out of it. Y muchas veces, joven, te sientes como que todos te acusan. Te sientes como que los fariseos te agarraron en el pecado y te están arrastrando a los pies de Jesús y te están acusando. A lot of times you feel like when you have sinned, like people are like these Pharisees that have dragged you to the feet of Jesus and they're accusing you. Y muchas veces, así como esta mujer adúltera no podía ni tan siquiera mirar al maestro, así te sientes con Jesús. O sea, que no te sientes digno, no te sientes digna ni tan siquiera de ir a la iglesia. No te sientes digno ni tan siquiera de decir Jesús. You feel like you're not worthy of going to church. You feel like you're not even worthy of saying Jesus. Because you have sinned and you feel like these people that are like the Pharisees, they have thrown you to Jesus, and just like this adulterous woman who couldn't even look Jesus in the eye, That's how you feel. Así es como te sientes. Pero fíjate que aunque esta historia comienza trágicamente, even though the story starts tragically, una mujer que la agarraron en adulterio, a woman who was caught in adultery, pero tuvo un final muy feliz. It had a great ending. O sea, porque vemos que Jesús en un momento dado la mira y le dice, ¿dónde están los que te acusaban? Where are your accusers? Where are they? ¿Tú no crees que Jesús sabía dónde estaban ellos?
Yes.
You don't think Jesus knew where they were? ¿Por qué tú crees que él le pregunta a ella, ¿dónde están los que te acusan? Why do you think he asked her, where are your accusers?
I'm gonna go ahead and take the ball and pass it to John.
I'm gonna take the ball and I'm gonna kick it out of bounds. Therefore, the ref has to.
Yo le puedo dar un yellow card a los dos ya mismo.
Give him a yellow card.
Bueno,
I've scored like
Yo,
3
tú
goals.
sabes que
already.
yo voy a tener que traer tarjetas aquí amarillas y rojas.
I've been crossing those.
First-
Hey, if I've been crossing my
Pero-
my crosses have been top tier, bro.
Pero ¿por qué tú crees? ¿Por qué tú
I'm gonna
crees?
go-
Te estoy dando un free kick.
I'm gonna go ahead.
Te estoy dando un free kick. ¿Por qué tú crees?
I'm gonna go ahead and guess.
It's not
I'm
even
giving you a free
It's
kick,
not even
man.
a free kick. You basically giving them a penalty.
Okay, I'll give you a penalty. Te estoy dando un penal.
I don't want to be Ronaldo.
Pues Messi. Pero dime, ¿por qué tú crees que él le pregunta a ella esto?
See, I'm gonna go ahead and guess, and say it was a rhetorical question, more to highlight the fact that they were not there and that no one has been able to that no one is able to throw the stone because because everyone has sinned.
Wow, tremendo. O sea, que él
Upper 90.
fue una pregunta retórica, lo que estás diciendo, porque él quería subrayar el hecho de que ya sus acusadores no estaban allí. Wow. Ok.
Call me Ronaldo because I only score penalties. Haha.
Pero ¿qué más tú crees que eso es una buena respuesta? That's a good answer. Okay. ¿Qué más tú crees que él quería que ella hiciera? Te voy a ayudar. What else do you think he wanted her to do? And I'll give you a hint. Al él hacerle la pregunta, ¿qué ella tenía que hacer para poder contestarle? ¿Recuerda cómo estaba?
Lift your head.
Shit.
What did she have to do when he asked her? What did she have to do to be able to reply? And remember how she was.
She had to look up.
¿Tuvo qué?
And look at Jesus.
Look up.
She had to look up, tuvo que alzar su vista y mirar a qué.
Jesus.
¿Qué le preguntó? ¿Dónde están tus acusadores?
Turn around and look.
Mirar.
I said that.
Look around. Right?
You said look up.
Look up, look around.
Words
Y
matter.
luego que ella tenía que hacer. Después que mirar alrededor y mirar
Face her sin.
enfrentar su pecado. O sea, que él le estaba llevando ya que confesara su pecado. Porque fíjate que él en ningún momento le dijo, no, tú no pecaste, tú estás bien. At no point, so she had to confess her sin. Because at no point did Jesus say, oh, you didn't sin, you're fine. You're okay. No. Él la lleva a que ella le confiese porque ella le dice, no están ahí. She tells them, they're not there. My accusers are not there. Entonces, ¿cómo él le responde?
No, go and sin no more.
Porque le hace otra pregunta.
No.
¿Ninguno te condenó? So, not one of them condemned you? ¿Y cómo le dice ella?
No.
No, Señor.
I feel like you're asking
No,
trick
Lord.
questions.
Yeah.
No, they're not trick questions. No es eso, no.
She said yes.
Dijo, no, Señor. Pero fíjate la respuesta de Jesús. Look at Jesus' answer. Ni yo tampoco te condeno. Vete y no peques más. He looks at her and says, neither do I. In other words, I'm not going to condemn you either. So go and sin no more. Vete y no peques más. O sea, que quien pudo lanzarle la piedra, the one who was able to throw the stone, Jesús, no lo hizo. He didn't do it. Le perdona sus pecados y le dice, vete y no sigas pecando. Go and sin no more. O sea, que para los jóvenes que se sienten hoy insuficientes, se sienten que no son dignos, se sienten que ya Dios no los ama, se sienten que no hay perdón para ustedes, hay esperanza para ti. Hay perdón para ti. So for young person who's watching and you're thinking there's no hope for me, Jesus doesn't love me anymore, it's all over, I'm here to tell you, God is telling you there is hope for you. There is forgiveness in Jesus Christ. But just like the adulterous woman, he's saying, go and sin no more. Because he who could have judged her, rightfully so, who could have thrown the stone, decided not to, and therefore showed mercy. And in showing mercy, it began the path to restoration instead of a death sentence. Entonces, quien pudo tirarle la piedra, justamente, porque en él no había pecado, acuérdate, decide no lanzar la piedra, le muestra misericordia, y al mostrarle misericordia, da el primer paso hacia la restauración, y no una sentencia de muerte. O sea que cuando nuestros jóvenes pecan, y no nada más los jóvenes, adultos también, cuando los jóvenes cometen un pecado, si tú confiesas tus pecados a Jesús, if you confess your sins to Jesus Christ, Él está listo para perdonarte. He is ready to forgive you. Él está ahí para ayudarte. He is there to help you. Entonces, ¿cuál es la labor? Ahora le pregunto a ustedes. ¿Cuál es la labor de la comunidad cristiana? What is the job of the Christian community when it comes to dealing with young people who have sinned? ¿Qué es lo que nos corresponde hacer? What do we have to do?
I'm gonna go ahead and take this free kick. I'm gonna upstage John's penalty.
My
Ajá.
penalty was too good.
I don't know. We'll see.
Vamos a ver.
Well, the first step, obviously, as he says, you have to confess your sin. The first thing a young person needs to, firstly, the first thing the Christian community needs to do is establish a relationship with their young people where their young people are not afraid to let them know that they made a mistake or that they committed a sin.
O sea que tenemos que establecer una relación de confianza con los jóvenes para que sepan o para que sientan la confianza de venir de nosotros y admitir cuando han pecado. Okay?
And that sort of attitude stems from the pastors, as does really most all behaviors from Christian communities, comes from the top, the leadership, the pastors.
O sea que esa actitud viene de arriba, desde el liderazgo.
And so you also have to teach, them that you can, you have to teach them even from an early age when you do make a mistake, because it's not a matter of if, but when. We all make mistakes. You have to teach them to not only confess it to Christ, but there are moments where it's probably good to confess it with a church elder or the pastor, someone they can trust, someone they're close with.
O sea que debemos de dejarles saber que cuando han pecado, cuando cometen un pecado, que sí tienen que confesarle al Señor, pero que también deben de buscar a alguien de confianza, ya sea algún anciano en la iglesia o quizá los pastores.
And obviously there are different procedures and different things to do for different types of circumstances they may find themselves in.
Sí, hay diferentes procedimientos dependiendo, sí, porque cada caso es diferente.
Right, it's not the same that one young person gets caught shoplifting where the other got caught fornicating.
Que no es lo mismo que un joven, digamos, esté robando a que esté fornicando, aunque el pecado es pecado.
No, yeah, sin is still sin. But I mean,
Sin is still sin. Pero entiendo lo que quieres decir. I understand what you mean.
Then explain it.
Lo digo para nuestra...
Oh, I know, just explain what he's trying to say.
¿Ah?
Explain.
No, lo que él dice es que son casos diferentes.
No, I know.
El punto de él es que son dos casos diferentes. O sea, un caso hay que tratarlo de una forma y otro de otra, porque estás hablando de un pecado externo, como lo es robar, y en el caso de fornicar, estás pecando contra tu propio cuerpo, según la palabra de Dios. And so what he's saying is you have to deal with them differently. Someone who steals something or shoplifts, it's an external sin, if you will, and versus someone who fornicates, you're sinning against your own body, according to the word. Entonces, pecado sigue siendo pecado, ¿ok? Pero acuérdate que también las consecuencias son diferentes. En el caso de fornicación, las consecuencias pueden ser desde enfermarte hasta terminar teniendo un hijo cuando no lo esperabas, ¿ok? En el caso de robar, pues obviamente vas a estar en problema con la ley. Si te llama la policía, te vas a buscar un caso en la corte, pudieras ir a la cárcel dependiendo nuevamente de cuán, digamos, la cantidad o según las leyes de donde están las personas.
But when a young person does tell you that they sort of confess what they did, the first thing you immediately need to understand is this is not something you can just go around sharing with people.
Que cuando un joven comete un pecado, tenemos que entender que esto es algo que no debemos andar por ahí compartiendo con todo el mundo.
Because especially if they came to you in trust to tell you this, obviously they're already embarrassed enough because they came to you and if they only told you or a select few people, they know they did something wrong and they're trying to be better. There's no need to publicly shame them or make them feel bad.
Sí, que si tuvieron la confianza de venir donde ti, no debemos de avergonzarlos, y mucho menos frente a todo el mundo.
But what is necessary to do is, obviously, yes, you speak to them and you make sure they understand that what they did was wrong and why it was wrong.
Hay que hablar con ellos y dejarles saber que lo que hicieron estuvo mal
And why it was wrong.
y por qué estuvo mal.
But also, if it is a church elder who's being told, there are times where maybe you can tell the pastors. I would say you maybe know a bit more. You have more experience with this. But like, as a church elder being told something, obviously you don't want it to go around, but I feel like you would also kind of want the pastors a little bit involved as well, because that is sort of their mandate as well.
Que
Or is it like a case by case?
cuando un anciano se entera que no, o sea, no es que vaya por ahí diciendo a todo el mundo, pero tú sientes que deberían de decirle a los pastores. Yo te diría que sí. O sea, sí, los pastores deben de estar al tanto, porque hay muchos casos que son delicados y hay casos que pudieran perjudicar a la iglesia y específicamente el liderazgo de la iglesia. And I would say yes, they should tell the pastors, because there are cases that are very sensitive in nature, and some cases can even jeopardize the church, particularly the church leadership. Y por lo tanto es necesario que el liderazgo de la iglesia, específicamente los pastores, lo sepan. Pero un buen punto que traes es que como líderes en la comunidad cristiana es necesario que nosotros tengamos confidencialidad. And the point that you bring, which is very good, is that leaders within the Christian community need to have confidentiality. O sea, saber que cuando alguien nos dice algo que es de naturaleza delicada, nuestro deber no es ir por ahí a que todo el mundo lo sepa, sino tomarlo en serio, ayudar a la persona, orar por la persona y si hay que notificar al pastor, dejarle saber. Claro, su deber es decirle, ¿sabes algo? Gracias por compartir esto conmigo, yo tengo que dejarle a los pastores saber esto. And so that is why within the Christian community it's important to have elders that understand that when we find something out that is this sensitive in nature, we can't just go around and telling everybody. And so we need to know that we need to be there for that person, pray for them, and perhaps even say, hey, you know what? I appreciate you telling me this. We have to tell the pastors what's going on, because this is something that's beyond what I can do. Let's get the pastors involved so we can give you the help you need.
And going to what Kevin said, when he's talking about fostering a good atmosphere, basically.
Tener una buena, sí, la confianza.
I think what we also have to do is we have to realize that, and I think it's grown pretty bad recently. It's still always been a problem, but I think it's grown even worse to where I have a feeling that too many people in the church have loose lips, where they kind of let things slide.
Wow.
You know, maybe it could be, maybe it's not out of malice, but maybe they just kind of were forgetting.
It's out of ignorance.
Yeah, it's out of ignorance.
Sí, que tú sientes que es un problema, porque hoy día en muchas iglesias no hay personas que lo cuentan, que lo hablan.
And
Sí.
so I think we should be more conscious of that, and be more conscious of what we know and what we know of people and how we share that, who we tell, and stuff like that.
And
Que
so,
deberíamos ser más conscientes de a quién le decimos y todo eso.
Sorry, quickly. And also another thing that we could do is understand that we've also I don't know. It feels like some people will be at church only to find out more gossip about each other, and it's a shame, because it's like, I don't know. I feel like it's more of a cultural thing, than more of a church culture thing. I think a lot more there's some cultures that would be sharing more gossip than others, but it's a case by case.
Que es algo, tú crees que es algo cultural, no cultura de iglesia, pero que es, cada caso es diferente.
And I think it's more being conscious about the fact that about what you're saying and what you're doing and your actions around you.
Tenemos que estar conscientes de que nuestras acciones y lo que decimos pueden perjudicar a los que están alrededor de nosotros. Y siempre mantener el espíritu que Jesús mantuvo con la mujer adúltera. Always keeping the spirit that Jesus kept with the adulterous woman. Que pudiéndola juzgar y condenar, no lo hizo, sino que tuvo misericordia de ella. And so always having the spirit that Jesus had with the adulterous woman, where knowing that he could have judged her and condemned her, okay, he chose not to, and he showed mercy. O sea, y eso que ustedes han mencionado es la forma en que nosotros le mostramos misericordia a la gente, guardando esos secretos, no compartiendo con todo el mundo, compartiendo con personas, ya sea con los pastores, con alguna otra persona también anciana de la iglesia. And so what you have mentioned is talking to other elders, not talking, that is a way of showing that mercy, by talking to perhaps the pastors, giving that person the help they need.
And something that I've also been seeing, maybe it's just because my ears have been more open, but something I've been also hearing is some of my friends who also go to church, maybe from what they're telling me, like from what I'm hearing or whatever, I'm feeling like I feel like some people just don't trust their church elders because they feel like they're not going to treat them fairly, because what I've been hearing is some of my friends they'll like find out that the church elders daughter or son did something, and they'll keep it quiet so that they don't get in trouble. And so why would you go trust them when you know? And then maybe they'll keep that quiet, but then they'll condemn someone out in the open, someone else out in the open. And so why would you go to them if you don't trust them? And I feel like it's just something like that.
O sea que según lo que tú, con algunas amistades que tú tienes que van a la iglesia, que ellos sienten que no pueden confiar en algunos ancianos porque sienten que no los van a tratar justamente. ¿Por qué? Porque a lo mejor el hijo o la hija del anciano hizo algo y no le pasó nada, o sea, lo escondieron y dicen, bueno, pues no van a ser justos conmigo, a mí me van a condenar. Fíjate que es triste que digas eso, es triste que se sientan así. Yo creo que hay muchos jóvenes que se sienten así, pero vamos a orar por estas iglesias donde ellos están. Vamos a orar por sus líderes, vamos a orar por sus pastores, sus ancianos, ¿verdad? Para que Dios los ayude Y estos jóvenes que quizás están pasando por una situación que quieren hablar con alguien, que Dios les dé a alguien de confianza, una persona que se dedique a Dios, una persona dedicada, consagrada a Dios, que puede escucharlos y darles un buen consejo. And so it's sad that you mentioned that some of these people, some of these young people you know, don't trust our elders because they're not going to be treated fairly. And what I would advise is to pray for them. Pray for those elders, pray for those pastors, and pray so that these people who are looking to talk to someone about what has happened, that God may give them someone who's trustworthy, someone who lives a life devoted to God, who can listen to them and give them a good word of advice. Porque estoy seguro que muchos jóvenes que nos están escuchando se sienten de esa forma. I'm sure that a lot of young people who are watching us and listening to us tonight feel that way. Y yo creo que también Dios ha utilizado estas situaciones. Sabemos que el mundo ha cambiado. The world has changed, okay? And I believe that sometimes God uses these situations to bring about revival, to bring about a cleansing. When I say a cleansing, I mean like a spiritual cleansing. Creo que a veces Dios utiliza estas situaciones, porque sabemos que el mundo ha cambiado. Utiliza estas situaciones para traer no tan solo un avivamiento, sino como una limpieza, digamos, una limpieza espiritual, donde las personas nos podamos acercar más a Él. Y es por eso que hemos venido diciendo todo este mes que hay que orar por nuestras ciudades, hay que orar por nuestros estados, hay que orar por nuestros países o provincias. Si usted vive en un país donde lo que hay son provincias, hay que orar ore por su vecindario. Comience su urbanización. Start in your neighborhood. And that's why we've been saying all month, we have to pray for our cities, our states, our countries, or provinces. If you live in a country that has provinces, and you can start in your neighborhood, start in your subdivision, start in your street. Empieza en tu calle, orando y diciendo, Señor, esta ciudad es tuya. Señor, ten misericordia de nosotros. God, have mercy on us. Por eso es que hemos venido insistiendo, porque la forma que podemos llegar a tener comunidad cristiana es si volvemos otra vez a Dios. The way that we can have Christian community again is if we turn back to God. Entonces, por eso es muy importante que la oración. Pero en cuanto a los jóvenes, ahora mi consejo, ya para cerrar, es joven, que te sientes que has pecado, que nadie lo sabe excepto tú y Dios. Pídele a Dios que te dé a alguien de confianza, algún anciano de la iglesia o quizás tu pastor, con el cual puedas abrirte y decirle. Pero si no, te recomiendo, y aunque sí lo tengas, te recomiendo que primero vayas al pastor de pastores. Ve a Jesucristo en oración y díselo. Dile, Señor, he pecado contra ti. Porque a fin de cuentas, el único que puede perdonar tus pecados es Dios. And so young person who is watching tonight, my advice to you is, whether you have an elder you can trust or not, tell the pastor of pastors, tell God, go on your knees and confess and tell him, God, because he knows, maybe you have a sin that nobody knows about except you and God. It's time to get right with him. It's time to go on our knees and say, God, I have sinned, and I ask you to forgive me, and I ask you to break this desire from within me. Señor, vengo ante ti, quiero que me perdones por mis pecados y quiero que rompas todo este deseo que tengo dentro de mí. A los padres que me escuchan, parents who are listening to me, mi consejo es, nosotros somos los mejores ancianos que nuestros hijos pueden tener. We're the best elders that our children could have. Nosotros debemos de hacer un ambiente donde nuestros hijos se sientan en confianza de venir donde nosotros y decirnos, papi, mami, cometí un pecado. Esto fue lo que hice. Y saber que nosotros no los vamos a juzgar, que vamos a mostrarle la misma misericordia y amor que Jesús le mostró a la mujer adúltera. No tapándoselo, no diciéndole, no, está bien, lo hiciste bien. No, dejándole saber, ¿sabes qué? Pecaste, ofendiste a Dios, pero yo te sigo amando, sigue siendo mi hijo. Okay, and so parents, we are the best elders that our children could have. And we need to foster an atmosphere where they can come to us and confess their sins if they need to. Not to judge them, but just like Jesus showed mercy to this adulterous woman, that we should show mercy to them. I'm not saying to say, oh yeah, it's okay, don't worry about it. No, we need to let them know, okay, you sinned against God, but I still love you. You're still my son, my daughter. Así que en esta noche hemos hablado un poco acerca de esta pregunta. Un joven que peca, restauración o sentencia de muerte. Y la respuesta es
Yes.
restauración. So tonight we've talked about a young person who sinned. When a young person sins, restoration or death sentence, and the answer is
Yes.
restoration. Okay, hay esperanza para ti. There is hope for you. Hay esperanza para John también. There's hope for John too, so don't worry about it. Y hay esperanza para Arsenal mañana.
We're gonna win.
There's hope for Arsenal.
Yeah, I mean, if we lose, I wouldn't be surprised. But if we win, I wouldn't be surprised.
Pero,
I'd be surprised.
seguimos con el tema comunidad cristiana y recuerden que si no pudiste acompañarnos en vivo, tenemos nuestro canal de YouTube, así que suscríbete, dale like y no te olvides de la campanita. También estamos, obviamente por Facebook, pero también estamos en Twitter y en Instagram como House of Mercy KC. Nos puedes seguir y
And if you couldn't catch us live today, just to translate what he said, if you couldn't catch us live today, we're always on YouTube. You can find us at House of Mercy KC. We will put this on YouTube. So if you want to go back and maybe you didn't hear a point correctly, maybe you can go back and listen to it. Tell your friends, tell your family that we're always on. We're live streaming, and if we have Facebook and of course we have Facebook and we also have Instagram and Twitter. So follow us on there, and then on YouTube, subscribe, hit the notification bell, hit the like button. Anything else?
martes y jueves a las 8 hora de Puerto Rico, mi familia
contigo.
Con los ministros Ángel Díaz y Damaris Reyes y una de sus hijas, Deyanira Díaz.
Tuesdays and Thursdays we have is our my aunt and our aunt and uncle and her and one of her children. We have one of their children. My bad. And we have
my family with you.
My family. I know. I'm trying to.
Oh, okay.
My family with
you.
We have that. That's every Tuesdays and Thursdays, and that's 8 o'clock Puerto Rican time.
That's right.
So that'd be 7 Central. The only time you want to know.
8 p.m. East Coast.
No one cares.
8 p.m. East Coast. Yeah.
The only time you need to know Central. Also on Sunday we have at 10:30 we have our worship service.
Domingo a las 10:30 servicio de oración House of Mercy KC a través del Facebook Live.
10:30 Central, and also on Friday we have our discipleship at 7 Central time. And if you want the code to join us on Zoom, just shoot us a message, and we'll be able to send the code to you. And then
los viernes tenemos discipulado a las 7 de la noche hora del centro por Zoom. Si te interesa, envíanos un mensaje por inbox y te enviamos el enlace.
And then of course, lastly on Monday, we also have in the morning we have
Hablemos Mujer.
Mujeres Hablan. Hablemos Mujer. We have at 10:30. It's going to be with the
10 o'clock Central Time.
Yeah, 10 o'clock Central Time. We'll have it with Pastora Abby and the fundadora de
Iglesia Dios es Amor.
What he said. We have my grandma, and so.
Sí, los lunes a las 10 de la mañana hablemos Mujer con Pastora Abby y la pastora cofundadora de Iglesia Dios es Amor, Pastora Herminia Ortiz. Esta mañana estuvo muy bonito, estuvieron entrevistando a algunas maestras y a la mamá de un niño especial. Y estaban hablando de cómo la comunidad puede integrar a los niños especiales a la comunidad de fe. They were talking about how we can integrate children with special needs into the faith community. And it was beautiful this morning. They were interviewing 2 teachers and a mom of a special needs child. And it's very interesting. How do we incorporate children with special needs into the faith community? ¿Cómo integramos los niños especiales a la comunidad de fe? Así que si no lo pudiste ver esta mañana, también lo tenemos en YouTube.
If you couldn't
in
see,
House of Mercy.
if you couldn't see it this morning, we also have it on House of Mercy KC, the YouTube channel.
Amen.
And so we have some future projects down the pipeline. So make sure you stay
Sí,
tuned.
estamos,
Keep subscribed. Make sure you obviously hit the notification bell once again. Hit the like button 3 times, because if you hit it twice, then it's going to turn gray again. But you know, I think that's.
Vamos a orar y así cerramos en esta noche. Let us pray and that way we'll close this evening. Padre, te damos gracias en esta noche, gracias por tu palabra, gracias por hemos aprendido de la misma. Yo te pido que tu palabra haya penetrado a lo más profundo de nuestras mentes y corazones. Y yo te pido que bendiga a cada una de las personas que se han conectado y que se han de conectar y ver este video luego. Yo te pido que tu palabra los penetre, Señor, y que podamos mantener siempre en mente que aun cuando pecamos, tenemos abogado en Cristo Jesús y está para restaurarnos y perdonar nuestros pecados. Father, we come before you this evening giving you thanks for your word. Thank you because we understand it has penetrated our hearts and our minds. We ask that you help us be doers and not just hearers of your word. And we ask that you bless those who have connected and those who will watch this video later on, that your word may touch them and let them know that even if we sin, we have an advocate in Jesus Christ who is ready to forgive our sins and cleanse us and restore us. In Jesus' name we pray. En el nombre de Jesús te pedimos. Amén. Dios les bendiga y que la paz de Dios sea sobre todos ustedes. God bless you and may God's peace be over all of you.